Okay, hey guys. So I have another video. I actually like this angle better, so now I'm annoyed that the other one recorded the way it did, but it's fine. If you're new here, definitely subscribe. My name is Renee, and I make basically right now my thing is making a lot of like personal development style videos, but mainly for the purpose of raising the self-esteem of women because these are like valuable things I'm learning that kind of helped me go from like a low self-esteem, like miserable person, basically, who was like just not happy and was put in like a lot of really unfortunate circumstances because of this reason, or at least having low self-esteem didn't help during those times, to now like being pretty much like in my what I consider to be at one point like my dream life. And I have to thank just like having a healthy self-esteem for that. So that's the purpose of my channel, and those are the kind of videos I make. So if you like that, then subscribe. And yeah, so today I want to talk about the abundance mindset and what it means, um, and specifically like what I've been learning recently about the abundance mindset. So I'm definitely somebody that believes in like the law of attraction. I believe in like manifestation. I believe in having faith. I believe in God. Like I have a lot of spiritual beliefs, and this is like the foundation of my life, I would say. So when I'll say it like this, when things aren't going the way that I want, or when I feel like just really like unsettled, like personally, like in my spirit, I guess you could say, like just like something's off and I just feel like unhappy or just too much like in my overthinking kind of energy, I always kind of go back to that. So what I've been having to do the past, I would say maybe like, well, I think January was a pretty like transformative month for me. I did dry January for the most part, I'm not gonna lie, but I also just took that time to like really go back to like my core values and like, really just get clear minded and see what I want for myself on a personal level, on a career level. And I did a lot of like reflection during that time, and like I even like went back to meditation, and I just wanted to get myself feeling like my highest vibration, feeling my best, because sometimes we're just so out of tune with our like our internal self and like our intuition. And you know you can even be having fun, and you're just busy, and it's just easy to fall out of alignment with that part of yourself. So my intention for January was to just kind of get grounded again, get clear about what I want in the future, and really like have solid routines for myself and put those like structures in place so that I could move forward, for the rest of the year and start my year off on a positive note, is what my intention was. And one of the things that I learned during January was that whole concept of the abundance mindset. Like I had to like retrain myself to basically think positively again and catch myself, especially like when I started to like think negatively, or even at the core of like when you have a bad habit, if you like examine the core beliefs behind that bad habit and why you're doing that, like say you want to stop a certain pattern of behavior, when you get to the core reasons for why you're doing that thing, they are pretty much like, negative beliefs. And the inner work that you have to do is like retrain yourself to think the positive version of that, if that makes sense. So, for example, I always like using this because I think it's just so relevant. Like, with eating disorders, and trigger warning, with specifically like binge eating, um, one of the beliefs that people have that they might not be aware of that's causing them to binge eat is it's coming from a place of lack. So you're basically, there's some part of you that's kind of triggered into like your fight or flight response, and internally, for whatever reason, even reasons you might not be aware of, you're believing that there's not enough. So the impulse is to like, eat and like physically make yourself full so that you can fend off those feelings of lack, or fear of lack, or fear of there not being enough maybe one day. That's one of the reasons that people binge eat. It's not the only one. But if you think about it, that is not an abundance mindset. So if you're somebody that's working through binge eating, basically you have to retrain yourself to believe that there is enough. Like there's more than enough, And, you know, whatever it is that you have to tell yourself to make yourself believe it. And it all is just a matter of like awareness and changing the things that you observe. So say you have this behavior, you're believing there's not enough. Okay, you don't want to believe that anymore. You want to change this behavior. Now you want to make yourself believe there's always enough. You want to make yourself feel like you're not in a lack mindset. You want to feel comfortable. You want to feel abundant, basically. You have to now train yourself to observe any and every, even if it's very little things, like scenarios where there is more than enough. So, for example, and you know what? And it's not that hard because a lot of the time our fear, you know, it's irrational for the most part. Like there's a little bit of rationality sometimes, but then like for a large majority, like believing there's not enough, you know, that can be an irrational fear because, in modern society we have, what? We have access to DoorDash, there's, we're surrounded by restaurants, we're surrounded by a surplus of food. We're not living in famine. Like we, you know, we're pretty we most of us at least have the ability to live a very comfortable lifestyle, and we're not in the age of like fearing for like a lack of food for in the bigger picture with modern society. I'm not saying that people don't experience that, and I'm aware of like the global circumstance right now, but I'm just saying like as a mindset shift, that is something useful that you can do, is retrain yourself to observe like more positive things. That's kind of how you rewire your brain for positive thinking and abundance, which is, an aspect of positive thinking. So, and then even deeper than that, right, is like, okay, this one was huge, right? So you can have everything. You can have the things that you want. You can have like the physical things that you want, I mean, like materially. You can have the house you want. You can have the boyfriend you want. You can have the clothes you want. You can have whatever it is, the thing that you want, the career you want. You can have that thing. But if you're not grateful, you're not going to feel like you have that thing, if that makes sense. Or having that thing isn't going to make any difference to you because you're not grateful. It's very interesting how when you're not grateful, or when you're just not present enough to like fully like receive that thing in your life, it almost is as if you don't have that thing at all, or at least you don't have that feeling of fulfillment that you would have, that you thought you would have when you got that thing, if that makes sense. So for example, if you always wanted a nice house and you get that house, but over time you forget that, this house, you once wanted it very much and it's a blessing. Say you forget that and you're, maybe you're overwhelmed with like stress in your life and you're focused on the things that are stressing you. You forget about this blessing that you have, this roof over your head that you always wanted. In that instance, you're being ungrateful, and you're choosing to focus on the things that are going wrong instead of the things that you have. And it cheats you out of like fully experiencing the things that you want and the things that you already have. So like abundance mindset is also retraining yourself to like focus on the things that you do have, and focus on the things that are going right, and focus on like gratitude. I know sometimes when you hear things over and over again, it almost can feel like it loses the meaning, you know? So like we hear gratitude, be grateful, make a gratitude list. We hear this all the time. But like it's just like such a deep truth that when you like really take the time to like think about it. So in trying to like in trying to better like my mindset in January, I came across this whole thing of abundance mindset, and just catching yourself when you have those negative thoughts, and like literally like intentionally choosing to focus on other things, like focus on the things that are going right, focus on what you do have, like literally like putting your attention on those things instead of the things that are stressing you is a big part of the abundance mindset. And gratitude and being grateful for what you already have is a big part of the abundance mindset, because without that, you can literally keep setting goals, keep getting those things. You can make more money, you could get like you can get better things, and you're not even going to fully appreciate it. So it almost makes no difference in your life whether or not you have it. And that is the opposite of abundance. That's like a lack mindset. That's like poverty consciousness, because you're not receiving that thing. So it doesn't matter. And your mind is what determines the quality of your life. So if it's not right, and if you're not in the habit of looking at things that way, which is very easy to fall out of, and I do too, but it's just something that I caught in myself last month, then okay, my phone cut off because I don't have storage. But anyways, I'm just basically trying to say, like, it is possible to retrain yourself to have an abundance mindset, and it just begins with noticing your thoughts and regaining that awareness if you've lost it, and choosing to focus on other things. Even if nothing's going right and you can't even find anything to be grateful for, which I would challenge you, I don't believe that's true, but even if that's what you are thinking, then why don't you change your focus to how you would feel if you were to get the things that you want, if things were to go right? Instead of using your energy to worry and, observe the things that are not going right, use that same energy, because it's all coming from the same place, to think about the things that could go right. Like, what if this worked out? What if I got that thing? How would it feel? Use that same energy to create and dream, and or even like look at other people that have it and admire that, like, or listen to like positive content, or do affirmations, or read like a book that you like that's going to help you, or listen to like something positive. That can all retrain you to have like a more positive and like energy giving mindset instead of energy taking mindset, which is a lack mindset. You don't want to live that way. So yeah, that's something that I had to do. I had to like literally, instead of like scrolling on TikTok, scrolling on social media, and just like, sometimes that can really take a lot of your energy. I would, if I'm going to use my phone, maybe go on Pinterest, like look at cool things that inspire me instead. Or, just like use my time for other things, more positive things. Like, even if, like, just like using it to like learn something new, like just, or listening. I've been listening to a lot of more like positive content from like, thought leaders in like self-development and, life coaches, instead of maybe, binge watching a Netflix show. And like, you know, like I've just been doing that on purpose though, like on purpose. And it helps. Like, it helps. Like, we all kind of know the things that we should do, but it's so easy to forget, and it's so easy to just lose awareness. So these are things that I've learned about the abundance mindset, and I hope that this clears up any questions you might have about what people even mean when they're talking about it. But it's something to pay attention to when you're noticing your thoughts. And real abundance is really just gratitude and enjoying life and being present and being content with that present moment. That's what real abundance is. Without that, there's nothing that will make you feel like you've arrived to your goal. Like, you have to have that foundation of like gratitude and the abundance mindset first before you can feel like very fulfilled. So hope this video made sense. Subscribe to my channel.